Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my new channel, Danae Still Divine. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. This is my first video on this channel. You can also find me at Danae Still Divine on Instagram. And my old channel, which used to be Danae Still Divine, is actually Danae Still Real, which I changed quite a bit ago. I think you should find that link somewhere on this page if you're interested in connecting. But to all those that are returning from my old page, welcome. Happy to have you here. For any new friends and visitors, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe as you feel moved to. And here this is just more an exclusive spiritual aspect of myself. There I'm going to shift some things to be more personal and professional and even family oriented. So this is exclusively spiritual content on this channel. It isn't going to be limited to cards. It's going to be as vast and expansive as the spirit guides. So it could be cards, it could be dreams, it just could be channeled messages, it could be songs, it could be a number of things that get expressed here. Eventually I'm hoping to do some more produced content, like some shows and things that I have in mind. So if you're here for it, stay tuned, because I don't believe you'll be disappointed with how this channel grows, and hopefully we can grow together. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to keep it concise because I went about an hour on my last message on my old channel. And I just wanted to do just see what comes up for this new one. Some new cards, my new cards here. They're a little bit hard to shuffle at times because if you know how new cards can be. My old cards are all bent up and jacked up, but they just flow so easily on my fingertips. So these are brand new cards, but I figured it's fitting to have brand new cards for a brand new message. And as you'll see in my last message, the bottom of this deck is the Justice card, and I haven't shifted it at all. It did come into play into the meaning of my last message, and I think it's really an energy that is prevalent in this time. Justice in general is the topic of discussion, as karma, as I've said in previous videos, is like the new pandemic. Like everybody's getting what their just desserts one way or another, in the most high vibrational ways and some in the most low vibrational ways, but it's all in the spirit of truth and balance that it's raining down. So I pray that you are on the highest frequency of it all, and that even if it's not as favorable for you, that you continue to keep faith and see hope for your future, to do whatever it takes in the present moment to acquire the desires of your heart, again, in the most high vibrational way. So let's get into it. Oh, why am I shuffling this way? Okay, all right. I didn't mean to do that. I've never done that on camera. But let's just see. Maybe we need to just see what cards are speaking to us as we shuffle. All right. Come on, message. All right. Ooh, World card. Beautiful. That's the ending of old cycles and the beginning of new ones, which is absolutely in alignment right now. On the top of the deck, I guess, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So I guess I'm going to do that. The Eight of Pentacles is about working, doing your life's work, and to me, it's always a spiritual essence first, because it's the work that you feel called to that doesn't even feel like work. You would almost do it for free. And because it's it has such a high productivity rate, as you can see here, it's almost like an assembly line. You could, it has a high rate of material, it's infinitely, well, I won't say infinitely, although I could, because it's 8 here, and that can also imply infinity. It could be an inference of infinity, but the work continues on beyond you is what I'm hearing right now. So we're leaving the cycle of work for dead end work is what I hear, like work that has no immediate, not only doesn't have a spiritual return or essence, or satisfaction, I should say, but it also didn't yield very much. We're leaving that behind and also gaining from the investments of our previous work in this new cycle that we're beginning, where we're not only seeing the fruits of the labors that we have already incurred, but we are finding ourselves in new positions of productivity and perhaps even power to continue the work and expand upon it. So that's awesome, and I'm glad that I'm shuffling this way. I don't know if it'll always be this way, but we're going to work with it. So ending of new old world cycles, old mentalities, which I talked about in the my last message, leaving that old world mind behind of ideas of prosperity and productivity, and moving into a new cycle of productivity and prosperity, where the value of our work is not predicated upon the immediate return. It's about the long-term investment of ourselves and of our energy in the most sustainable way, if that makes sense. All right, so here and look at this. We got the Page of Pentacles, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna freak it a little differently, as I did say in my last reading that I'm gonna switch up my readings more on camera than I have in the past. I usually like to keep it really concise and simple for me and for you, because as you know, I can get really long-winded at times, and I know that not everybody is here for that, especially if you don't know me like that. So I try to keep it concise, and I'll try to do the same now, but I'm going to take two coming out together as opposed to in the past. So we have the Page of Pentacles and we have the Knight of Pentacles. Now immediately I see an upgrade here, a shift in position, a shift in power, which is also what I said regarding the Eight of Pentacles and us leaving behind, and us moving forward, from a previous positions of power perhaps into new positions, and those energies and investments following us forward. This is what I see here. The Page of Pentacles is like a message. It's like a small message, but usually it's one of a new opportunity, something positive, more or less. Now the Knight of Pentacles implies that this progression of position may have taken some time in the past. Like it may have taken a little bit of time, maybe even felt like too long of an expansion, or again like a progression, because the Knight of Pentacles can kind of be a slow moving energy in the deck, maybe even for recognition, because the Page of Pentacles can also imply like visibility online, or pictures, or someone looking upon you in some way, so whatever it is you're offering. Maybe you're a content creator, maybe you're a speaker, maybe you're a model. You could do anything that would put you on display, and maybe it's felt like it's taken some time for you to really receive the return on the rightful return on your value, on the value you've invested into that thing, whatever that creative force is. It's energetic with the Pentacles here, but it's very much so material in its form as well. And what the Page of Pentacles, what the Knight of Pentacles projects is that it's a very grounded and stable energy of return. All the knights have their points of position, and points of power and so forth. But the Knight of Pentacles, is is really a valuable energy as far as the Knights are concerned, because it implies that he's taken his time to really dot all his I's, cross all his T's. He stayed in integrity with his investments. He hasn't tried to take any shortcuts, or, definitely not taking the fast route with the Page of Pentacles. Like I said, it might even have felt like it's taken too long to receive a return for your investments. But once you get there, it's stable, it's reliable. There's material contentment there, and there's a value that can potentially be invested in the long run, and it's something of high value, not just for yourself, but also that can be invested forward or with some other force in some way. And then here we have on the bottom of the deck, the Queen of Pentacles, which is the feminine aspect of the King of Pentacles. And I think that's really unique in this case, because you have two masculine energies in the Page of Pentacles. More or less, the Page is kind of masculine. The Knight of Pentacles, they look like men, but of course a knight can be a woman, sure, no discrimination here. But in the difference here in these suits, not only is this also implying yet another upgrade of material balance and measure, something that is measurably successful, meaning money or time or energy, or again, investments returned, dividends on the dollar, some type of windfall, and also advancement, but it being the Queen of Pentacles implies that there's a receptive energy here, whereas in the masculine energy, we know that that's more proactive. That's when you're working your hardest, you're in action mode, you're going out to make a thing happen. In the feminine aspect, you're more in the receiving position, where things are coming to you almost easily, I would say. And the money in this card, to me, is making itself, as long as you continue to nurture your value, because that's what the Queen of Pentacles is. She's the most high value queen of them all. She knows her worth. She knows what she has to offer. She knows what is worthy to be in alignment with her. And she you see how she's watching that pentacle closely. It doesn't mean that she's materially focused entirely, but she knows the value of her nature in the most holistic way. She's not going to squander it on poor investments energetically or materially, because she's done way too much work to get there. And the world has turned in such a way, from the moments when maybe she may have invested small, even within herself, or, felt that her value, because the Page of Pentacles is almost like a child energy, where her perspective of her value was small. She thought maybe that pentacle that she had to offer was, minuscule in comparison to the grand scheme of life. But as you can see, it's the same pentacle in every picture. The gift is the same. It's just a matter of how you nurture it and cultivate it to grow into this garden of goodness, and this, this court of material wealth and gain that, again, is not just idealistic, it's very measurable. So you can see and touch and feel the rewards of the energies that you have invested. Okay, so again, newness on the horizon, justice is served, as that bottom card was, and we are here for it. Yes, Spirit. All right, let's see what else we got. Almost, and that was the Six of Wands, which is victory. Almost turned over. Let's see, what's that? And it came back out. Oh my goodness. Wow, let me move these down, because I felt like they were a little high up in the last video, but I was afraid they were too low. So let's see how this works. The Six of Wands is victory after really, it's a victorious win after a long battle. That's how I see the Six of Wands. You have sustained some point of energetic position and overcome even some adversity and competition, because the Five of Wands is what's in that background, and that's about competition and confusion. You have somehow sustained your peace of mind, your integrity, your focus, even energetically, and where you're headed and what you are here to accomplish. And that has crowned you the victor overall. See how she is up on a high horse. I used to see that card as a she, and I read the book and I realized it's actually a he. But to me, I always saw it as a feminine energy for some reason. And given that I'm receiving this message too, I wouldn't reject that, you know. But here we have on the bottom of the deck, Page of Cups, which is about, we had this energy kind of pop up and pop back in the last reading, and it's about messages, people bringing information to you. It's about messages, the pages are generally. But these messages are of some type of sentimental nature, whether they be apologies, terms of endearment, admiration. What I like to say about the Page of Cups is that it could be one or all of those things depending on the messenger. You just have to kind of receive the message with discernment, because there's a fish in that cup, and that fish really belongs in the ocean, you know, which means to me that there could be some other nature behind or at the core of this message, some other intention at the core of this message that may not be recognizable on the surface. Say, for instance, someone's coming to apologize or to, you know, now express their love for you or their admiration for you. And it's a new message, so maybe it's something that's coming, you know, that you haven't received before. But be cautious that in the position of victory and power, and maybe even perhaps authority that you are sitting in now, it could be with a hidden agenda. That these messages, like there could be very much a real sorry or a real love expressed, but now it being expressed from the intentions of exchange, you know, like I would want to offer this in exchange for that, because there's some point of gain that is recognizable here given the position that you're in. So be careful as you're moving into your victory, or already sitting in that power with achievements and accomplishments, the rewards of your heart, the reaping of your harvest, the rewards of your investments, that others are watching you. You know, they see you just as much as you see you, probably better than you see you. So you have to be mindful that, again, you protect your value. Back to that Queen of Pentacles, you protect your value at all costs, even from yourself. You know, I like to say that when it comes to pages, knights, you know, it's not exclusive to an external expression. It could be energy that wants to creep back from within, maybe even ideas from when you were a kid, you know, about who you are and how you should feel about yourself. Maybe even guilt is what I'm hearing right now about your advancement and your point of position, like, oh, well, maybe I don't deserve this, or, you know, you could start to work against your success by reverting back to old world mentalities about who you are and what you deserve and the true value of the work that you've invested. You may even feel like you haven't done enough to acquire this level of success in a physical form. But what this Knight of Cups, ooh, and the sun is behind it, that's beautiful, the most productive card in the deck. What this implies is that even if you have only worked in the spiritual capacity that you knew how to, you know, maybe you were almost in a childlike position, and it felt like in the universal aspect of things and the scheme of things, that you may have felt like you didn't really know much of what you were doing spiritually, but whatever you did, you pulled a fish out of the cup and it was productive to your progression, you know, so congratulate yourself on that. You got to celebrate where you come from, where you are, and where you undoubtedly are headed. Even if nobody else is cheering, cheer for yourself. Again, here's that Knight of Wands energy. Now this is even more of a direct, with this Ace of, with this Eight of Swords here, which is about being bound and blind and, confused within your own mental capacity. This Knight of Wands for me is coming directly head to head with this victory here, almost in the same energy that the Knight of Swords was giving me in the last reading. But this one is where the Knight of Swords is like a play on your mentality, on your mental stability. Even this here, the Knight of Wands is a play on your passion. So the Knight of Wands often gets a bad rap because it's like a here for a good time but not a long time energy. He can kind of be the playboy, depending on who he's aligned with, and we'll see what comes on the other side. But he can kind of be a playboy energy that is more of a distraction than than an added value to your productivity. As you can see, the horse is rearing up its legs and almost, like I said, coming head to head with your horse that's kind of on a stable ground, walking slowly but surely, coming out of a chaotic energy. You want to be careful that you don't align yourself with a new chaotic force in this new world energy, because for one, energetic return in this cosmic climate is much more immediate than it has been in times past, in previous climates, where the energy you have invested, almost like that Eight of Pentacles energy, has taken a while to manifest. Now it's almost full bloom universally, where whatever you invest is almost immediately returning. So you want to be clear that the passion that you invest is pure and not tainted, not distorted, not perverted. That's what I hear. It's not perverted passion. Like, you're not just lustful after things and people and places and power. Even you're not just lustful after power, and you're not aligning yourself with those that may be lustful after power, whether it be their own or your own. You just have to stay discerning. You cannot be in a blind state. If you are in this position here presently, then that means that you have been released and perhaps even rescued in some way, shape, or form, is what I hear, from this position where you didn't know what was truly going on around you. You seem like you couldn't see the future or the past, let alone be vigilant about your present, which is your most prominent position of manifestation, co-creation or procreation, creation in general. So you really have rescued yourself, I would say, because this card always implies to me that really there was all power within this being to release herself and to be able to see or be. It was the illusion of restriction and restraint that confined her, but illusion nonetheless. All she has to do is pop those bandages, take the blindfold off her eyes, and see what's around her and move accordingly. But societally, we've all been placed under illusions about what our possibilities were, our potentials were, not just for our own prosperity, but for the likeness of that materially in the physical form. Our ideas of prosperity and productivity have been tainted and jaded by the powers that be to always kind of hover this cloud of control over our minds, as these are mental energies, our minds, as to how we get to move forward most positively. What does that look like to be rich, to be wealthy, to be successful, to be affluent, to truly have clout, not in a physical sense, but in a spiritual sense, to be independent even, these are all the things that we've been bound by in an illusionary way. And now as you have broken those illusions off of yourself and moved forward, even in the smallest of ways, you know, it's afforded you a victory that at this point is only penetrable or stoppable by yourself. Meaning if you choose to go back into this state of ignorance and resistance to your natural self, your true self, the ace of swords energy, the truth and clarity of who you are, and be distracted by the lusts of the world, whether that be person, place, or thing, that don't hold high value. You know, cars, houses, bank accounts, those are all fleeting energies. You know, yes, they are sensationally satisfying, and it's not that we don't get to desire them, but we are to value our positions of pure power in the earth, even if you have absolutely nothing to show for it, which you do and which you will if you don't already, because that world has ended and a new one has started. But even if you don't, you still have to see the value in yourself over what is projecting itself to be tantalizing to the senses at this time. And be sure, even in the most practical sense, that you don't allow yourself to be derailed by individuals or passions, or interrupted in a sense for those that are just lustful after your energy, because there's a lot of energy vampirism going on out there. And as with the Knight of Swords that's rushing back in a kind of an aggressive way, this Knight of Wands is also doing the same as rushing, but in a lustful way. It wants something for its advancement, is looking to conquer something. So you just have to be clear that, is that something you need and want to be conquered by? You know, is it beneficial to the longevity of your legacy, or is it just here for a good time and not a long time? Should I take that? No, that's 3 cards. I'm not going to take that. That's too much. With some heavy cards, though. I could have taken it, but I'm about to wrap up. Come on, Spirit, give me something. Give me something good. Knight of Wands ain't like that, huh? He said, stop the reading. No, we ain't getting tricked and caught with our panties down. Not this time, not this lifetime, buddy. Not this cycle. That cycle has passed. Only pure passion, pure love can persist. Oh, and that's pure passion and pure love. Look at that. Wow. That's from the divine right there. Right there. All right, so here we are. These 3 came out together. That's on the bottom. So this card came up in the last one, which is the 5 of Swords. And that's about a determination of demise that has been defeated. You know, there was something going on in the background of most of our lives. And here with the, oh, look at this. This is amazing. What I have said, I think, and I said it in this video too, is that karma is the new pandemic. You know, epidemic, pandemic, whichever means the whole world is which makes sense with this card here. That means the whole world is relenting to it, or receiving it, I should say. That's what it means. And this is the 5 of Swords. Like I said, there was definitely adversity at hand, especially against so-called divine beings. And I say so-called because it just depends on what you like to call yourself. But those that have been in alignment with the flow of the universal order and whatever higher power that you submit to. So this Wheel of Fortune is yet another implication of cycles closed, and this is like the karmic wheel turning, meaning that anything that it's a return of investment yet again, So in this sense, we got the demise that was plotted and planned, perhaps, and we got the Wheel of Fortune, which is now turning away from that. Now, the Seven of Cups can sometimes be, and I think I might pull one more, or I'll see what's on the top of the deck to give me an energy for the other side of this Seven of Cups, because the Seven of Cups can either be confusion, or it could just be so many choices that you almost don't know what to pick. Like you have so many possibilities at hand. I get that makes sense though, because I guess it depends on just how you're seeing life, and that is determined by this turning of the wheel. Some that have invested wisely in their legacy are quite frankly experiencing this cornucopia of opportunities. But like I said, coming back to this energy here, you have to be careful not to fall into the spirit of lust with all that is at your fingertips. You have been upgraded into a space of discernment and knowing what's right for you, what is righteously yours for the taking, so that no matter what comes your way, whether it be adversity or an addition, to find another A word, what is most productive for your legacy. Because indeed, karma is like raining down all of this. Is Jupiter energy. It's like it's not only given what's invested, but it's expanded upon where Jupiter is now. It's a new cycle of Jupiter that we're in. So you are either getting a whole lot of what you've been giving out in the low vibrational sense or in the highest vibrational sense. But we still live in the earth realm. So best believe that you still are susceptible to being sidetracked or sideswiped by lust and by the perversion of passion. You're still susceptible to it, but it doesn't mean that you're not equipped for the success to overcome it, or even to just outright move around it altogether. So like I said, it just depends on not only what you've invested in previous cycles of the cosmic energy that we're all sharing now in this lifetime, and even past lifetimes, because that's what Jupiter does. Jupiter comes in and it awards you for, if you believe this, but it's ideally awarding you for past life cycles of investment. So maybe good deeds that you've done in the past, like we've all had this lifetime to kind of correct previous karma in a sense, or to operate. We weren't necessarily slated to be victorious against the odds, because the odds were great. There a lot of people have not made it to this point in their life because of the choices that they've made, the alignments they've subscribed to, even just the energy you've invested yourself with. Some people haven't made it to this point of change and turnover where you're finally seeing a return. Again, that slow energy on your investment now is picking up full speed, and the return is instantaneous. The reward is instantaneous, but also the distraction could be just as so. I'm not sure. I can't say quite yet, but I would imagine that it could be just as prevalent as the productivity that you're experiencing, like the material gain and things like that. But these are cups also, so that more so speaks to like the spiritual nature of yourself, that for all the energetic and material work that you've invested, you still must maintain spiritual integrity above all else. Because see how he's like up in the clouds and it's like a mystery man. And some of these cups have good things in them and some of them don't. And some of them are very clearly not good, like the snake and the dragon, you know, depending on how you look at it. And then some of them are like the wreath, that's more like a crown, and the jewels, which is material. But again, if it's tainted passion for those aspects of power and measures of prosperity, you could still falter just as badly as if you were investing in the demise of some other person, place, or thing, you know. So I guess I'm saying it really is just important to keep your nose clean above all, you know, so that not only can you continue to enjoy the fruits of your labor, but you can continue to expound upon them, because there's even more to be gained in the expansion. With Jupiter being here like this, there's even more to be gained from the expansion of your energetic force now, that again is compounded in a way and how you say, like accelerated in a way and expanded in a way that will last for generations to come, perhaps lifetimes to come, existences to come, you know, because that's the energy that this Wheel of Fortune gives. It's like a archaic energy, you know, that was, is, and always will be. Same with the world. That's Saturn, that's Jupiter right there, and that's exactly the two planets in alignment that are making two of the biggest impacts on not just us individually, but us collectively and universally, you know. So we got the Ace of Wands on the bottom, which again refers to pure passion. This is passion from the divine. What incites you to create, what incites you to move forward in this position of power and authority, what continues to fuel you to live. Wands are action energy. It's also inspiration to do more, ideas. When it's coming from the divine, as I've said multiple times, it's an infinite well of creative force. You know, the pentacles are money, the wands are power and energy, the cups are emotions and love, and the pentacles are also time. And what am I missing? The sword is truth and clarity. So it's like when you have any of those major cards coming from a space beyond you, or maybe from an internal space, was probably even more so, but one that is measurable beyond the physical realm. That's something that can last forever. You know, it doesn't have a cap. It doesn't have a restriction. It can be invested continuously. It's like eternal power is what I'm getting from this. You know, eternal life. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Eternal force is what I feel like. And it's right. I didn't do it on purpose, but it's here right in the middle, kind of sort of under this Six of Wands card, which implies that you've already overcome the worst of competition and confusion and restriction that would keep you from obtaining this. You know, you've already overcome the worst. Now it's about maintenance, you know, and expansion as you maintain the presence and potency is what I hear of what has been gained, whatever that is, you know, whether it's a new position of creativity in your own right, whether it's a new position in a job or establishment in the earth. You know, it could even be passion in the love sense, you know, very, very strong passion, you know, with this Ace of Wands, because that means it's like, again, like I was saying about the Knight of Wands, if you had the choice between two wands, you don't want the knight that's fleeting, that fleeting passion. You want the one that's pure, that's sent from above. So even in the relational sense, your partnerships that you are aligning with, you want them to be in the purest form of passion or potential passion not perverted in any type of way, or not catering to, or what's the right word, not I can't find a word, but not playing on that old perspective of you that was also here for a good time and not a long time, and may not even have been as aware and self-aware, and even surroundingly aware of the high value of the passion that you possess, because that is the truth of it all. Like, our passion is what drives us to create, and also to co-create and procreate, in the most carnal sense, and in the most ethereal sense. Our passion is our drive and our force, and we are to guard it, be it in peace. That wreath is like peace and purity to me, to maintain that level of authenticity in everything that we do. Energy, wand energy is action energy, and everything that we do, and the power that we wield, and the inspiration that we even receive and align with, it needs to be pure in the most divine sense, in the most universal sense, meaning it's in like this is in line here. It needs to be within the integrity of the highest expression of you. Not what's going on behind you, not what's coming towards you, but in the highest expression of who you are, in your most victorious position of soul authority of yourself, if that makes sense. I know that was a mouthful. So I'm wondering, I think I'm just going to do the top. Oh, wow. Yeah. So this, yep, I'm gonna do it like this, because that's what it's speaking to me. And look what tried to peek out, but the devil. See what I said about maintaining? And I'm gonna just do this as it is, as it's popping out. But you are the star, whoever you are. You're the star of your life, of your own existence. And what is not pure passion is what leads to heartbreak, or a feeling of missing out from the fullness of life, from experiencing this give and take, this equal give and take of life, where life is pouring into you just as much as you're pouring into it, if not more so. Life pouring more into you than you pouring into it, because that's the shift of expansion that we're in now, where the work has been done. You've done the heavy lifting here in this Page of Pentacles and this Knight of Pentacles. You've done a lot of the heavy lifting. Hold on, Jay. The heavy lifting and the hard work and the investments made at that point. Now is the time to really be in your star essence, as always ordained by the universe to be of star power in the earth. You have to wait, so that you can truly be in the fullest expression of yourself, to be in the fullest reception of the best of the divine. So again, as these cards are speaking here, be careful of that adverse energy, and really the devil energy in this sense is about greed. It's about again, it's about perversion of energy. It's about being influenced by energetic forces that are here to keep you bound, and that's on every scale of power. It could be internal force, it could be familial, it could be cultural, it could be societal. Anything that is set to keep you bound to the truth of who you are and the power that you possess is an adversary to abundant life. And that's what this card gives me. This Ace of Wands is abundant life. And then this card is the physical expression of abundant life, because this card speaks to the independence of your, how can I say, this is like independence at its finest. So as I like to say, you are the sole proprietor of your estate. That's exactly what this young lady is. And it looks like a feminine to me. I've always seen it as a feminine energy, but it could also very well be masculine, given that this is more of a minor card. And it expresses the value of material gain and independence that you have acquired based on your energetic and spiritual investments. So again, where you've invested your time and your energy, where some may be bound, the opposite of independent. They may be bound by society, but bound by working a job that they don't like because they feel they have to. They may be bound by maintaining, working their ass off, quite frankly, to maintain material appearances and material gain, because it looks good. It looks like success. It looks like, or even tells you that that's what makes you successful. That's the opposite of this energy here that has done the work, and now the environment that this person has cultivated spiritually is now feeding them naturally. The investments have bloomed, blossomed, matured, advanced, expanded, and it's like life, she's living life and life is not living her, so to speak. So again, that's a great connection to this card here, where your energetic investments, here and here, and the protection of your integrity and the maintenance of your integrity have put you in a position to live a full life, to live a life of abundance. And it doesn't mean that you have to be alone to do it, but what it means is that this stands alone. That means that whether you have a partner, a partnership in the personal or professional sense, that whether you do or not, this is still the position of power that you're in, the position of prosperity that you maintain because of how you've invested, perhaps in previous existences beyond your recollection, but most certainly in this lifetime. The value that you have maintained of your spiritual worth and wealth has now manifested and expanded in such a holistic way that it itself is almost infinite. Like, this card to me is almost as amazing. I'm sorry, this is the 9 of Pentacles. If I didn't say that, I think I might have said the 8. This is just as amazing as the 10 to me. The only difference is that the 10 is certainly shared with another person or in some other partnership. Again, this maintains that if you were by yourself for the rest of your life, you'd be good, not just materially, but also spiritually, because you would have you have maintained and identified true wealth and worth so clearly that nothing outside of that really has more value or takes more precedence than you being in sole sovereignty of your spirit. That's the highest value of you, So when you have that starting point to manifest from, that starting point of projection, you become prosperous in the most material way because your out matches your in. And again, that means that whether your Prince Charming comes in riding on a horse, or whether he's here today, going tomorrow, whatever, whether you have the job of your dreams, or the house of your fantasies or not, it doesn't matter, because you are so balanced in your self-worth that is what sustains you, and that is what defines your success. And to me, there's really no better position of power to be in. Not even the Empress supersedes that, because the Empress implies a lot of responsibility outside of herself. Even though she's the most powerful feminine energy in the deck, but she has a kingdom to be, she has a kingdom to establish or to even govern. You know, all the queens have their own governship in some way, shape, or form with who they, you know, with responsibilities outside of themselves. Same with the masculine energies. The equivalent to this in the masculine form is the Nine of Cups, which is the man sitting on a pedestal, in a sense, very content with what he's acquired in an emotional sense. It's kind of the same value, just that this is more material, and again, it's a reflection of the internal, and also of the past investment. So again, to me, it's almost like one of the best feminine aspects you can be in, because it implies that your responsibility is really just to yourself and your highest self, and you've already invested well to establish this point of position and power. Maintenance is just par for the course. You know, life takes care of itself at this point. Okay, so I think that's a beautiful way to end the message. Yeah, thank you again for tuning in to my new channel. I hope you'll stay. I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe. I hope that you'll also join me or stay tuned on Danae Still Real if you feel guided to. And yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing messages with you in the near future. So I hope this was helpful in the most high vibrational way. Congratulations, I should say, for all that you have overcome and accomplished, and for all the greatness that is on the horizon. Keep doing what you're doing. And with all of that, I leave you, as always, with